Streaming only on Peacock.
John Wayne Gacy is suspected of having killed as many as 32.
Straight from the killer's mouth.
They want you to believe that I alone committed these murders.
The new gripping 6-part documentary series that investigates the crimes that shocked the nation.
The thing everybody thought they knew wasn't the whole story.
John Wayne Gacy, Devil in Disguise. All episodes streaming now.
Devil in disguise.
Only on Peacock. Streaming only on Peacock.
She was this moneyed, social girl.
Ghislaine Maxwell had it all until she met Jeffrey Epstein.
Maxwell helped connect him to the wealthy and famous.
Then it all came crashing down.
Ghislaine Maxwell's charged with enticement of minors, sex trafficking of children, and perjury.
Now a new 3-part documentary reveals her story.
How on earth could she have got to this place?
Epstein's Shadow, Ghislaine Maxwell. Streaming now, only on Peacock.
If you find yourself in need of legal representation, it can be a very stressful time in your life. In my career, I have dealt with thousands of lawyers, I've dealt with thousands of law firms, and I can confidently recommend to you Keith M. Davidson at kmdlaw.com. Available 24 hours, 7 days a week. Just log into kmdlaw.com. That's kmdlaw.com. Or you can call toll-free 833-4KMD-LAW. That's 833-4KMD-LAW. Personal injury, wrongful death, STDs, sexual assault, car accidents. They handle it all efficiently and professionally. It doesn't matter how imposing the opposition may be, because the team at kmdlaw.com are battle-tested and fierce. They will not stop until justice prevails. Go to kmdlaw.com or call toll-free 833-4KMD-LAW. If you're in for the fight of your life, stop screwing around and contact KMD Law.
Before Epstein was the Franklin cover-up. Before that, the Finders. And long before that, the Cleveland Street Scandal. Pedogate Primer is a concise intro and overview of a growing child abuse epidemic worldwide. It features shocking instances of institutionalized and organizational pedophilia throughout history. Churches, cults, the world of arts and entertainment, the government, NGOs, charities, and major corporations are all complicit or culprits in many instances. Pedogate Primer delves into material that for many may seem like the stuff of conspiracy theories. For this reason, the book draws on academic resources, declassified documents, and other reliable sources, and steers clear of conjecture. Such shocking true stories need no embellishment.
Emailrevealer.com. People ask me all the time, hey Ed, are you still a private investigator? I sure am. Go to emailrevealer.com. We handle adoption investigations, infidelity investigations, where you give us your spouse's email address. We trace it back to online dating websites, catch them cheating online. Email tracing, locate or identify somebody from as little as an anonymous email address. Someone owe you money? Back child support? We can find that deadbeat, locate his hidden assets, locate his hidden bank accounts, find his current place of employment, and even assist you in obtaining a judgment and recover that judgment for you. Emailrevealer.com. Digital forensics, computer forensics, cell phone forensics, recover deleted text messages, create a report that you can use in court. Emailrevealer.com, 800-572-9762. The Opperman Report is brought to you by Aquadam.net. You can give them a call at 707-764-2119. A flooded home is never easy to deal with. You're left with the mess to clean up, the insurance companies to deal with, and not to mention all the memories, the precious memories that are lost in the flood. You can never replace those. And Aquadam can be a tool in your arsenal to protect your home and property from the floodwaters. The cofferdam is filled with water to control water and is reusable as long as it's taken care of. It can protect your home or business from rising floodwaters like a dam, but without the beavers. It can also be used in construction. If you need an area to be dewatered, an Aquadam can do the job. An Aquadam was used at SeaWorld in Orlando for the Mako roller coaster ride during the coaster's construction by dewatering the work area. An Aquadam is now dewatering the work area at San Antonio SeaWorld for their newest roller coaster ride. An Aquadam has been used in many construction projects all around the U.S. and all around the world. Now give Aquadam a call, 707-764-2119. You can look them up online at aquadam.net. You can find them on Facebook at Aquadam Inc. You call them up, you email them, you tell them Ed Opperman sent you, and they're going to take 10% off the price. Aquadam.net, 707-764-2119.
It's the Opperman Report. Join digital forensic investigator and PI Ed Opperman for an in-depth discussion of conspiracy theories, strategy of New World Order resistance, high-profile court cases in the news, and interviews with expert guests and authors on these topics and more. It's the Opperman Report. And now, here is investigator Ed Opperman.
Okay, welcome to the show. I am your host, private investigator Ed Opperman. The name of the show is The Opperman Report. If you're looking for me, you could find me at Opperman Investigations and Digital Forensic Consulting through my website, emailrevealer.com, or you can email me at oppermaninvestigations@gmail.com. You can go there and email me. That's how you get a hold of me. If you like our show, check out our Patreon. I'm going to be putting up some exclusive content on Patreon tomorrow. What is it going to be? Lisa Peace. Lisa Peace came back on the show to talk about the assassination of Robert F. Kennedy and the parole of Sirhan Sirhan. So that's going up there tomorrow. And also an interview I did with a young man. I forget his name. I think his name was Matir. Something. Yeah, it was Matir. He's a nice fellow. And he interviewed me earlier in the week. I guess he put it out already, and it's gotten a very good response with his podcast there. What's the last thing is the archives are always free. You go to Spreaker.com and get our archives for free. And if you're listening on YouTube, heads up, okay? Because we have a second backup YouTube channel that we will be able to monetize. So we're going to start uploading to that other channel. But there'll be I forgot to do it tonight, don't worry. You got to set it all up. And so keep an eye out for that. Listen on YouTube. Coming up after this tonight, if you're listening to this show live on Friday night, I don't like Fridays, September 3rd. After this, I'm playing a show. I did an interview with a woman named Frankie about Lauren Boebert, the Colorado House of Representatives member who, is fascinated with the guns and stuff, And the woman's Twitter handle is Boebert is a criminal. Okay. And it's true. We get into all of Lauren Boebert's crimes, their life of crime, which is it's just fascinating that this woman got elected in the first place. So anyway, that's coming up after this. And then we have a return guest, Gordon Woods, the gentleman from Scotland who's got a book coming out. And he came on our show a few months back, maybe about a year, to talk about the Celtic football club and how he was molested over there in Scotland by this while being a soccer player. Now, we brought him back because, as a matter of fact, the day that he was on my show, the man who molested him was taken into custody. So you'll hear the whole story. You'll hear the whole story with Gordon when he comes back. Gordon Woods is a fine man. I really enjoyed talking to him. And this woman who I interviewed about Lauren Boebert, I like her too a lot. I got a little story about Lauren Boebert. Because if you go to the website, thelaurenboebert.com, it's developed by a fellow who's a comedy writer named Toby Morton. And he did this comedy parody website. But he has in there that he found, someone in this group of Boebert haters found some modeling pictures of Lauren Boebert, right? And, she was an attractive woman at one point. And she had a page on exploretalent.com. Now, what is exploretalent.com? It's this incredible website where if you want to be an actor or a model or a singer, something like that, you could go and put your picture up on that page. And then supposedly you're supposed to get contacted by talent scouts and talent agents and producers are supposed to contact you. And they do have, extra bits and casting calls and cold calls, all that kind of stuff. They are available through that website, but stuff you can find anywhere for free. And they get your phone number, and then they start these high pressure trying to sell you a membership on a site. And I actually made friends with this one woman, who she says, I just joined the site with my last $200 because my mother's on food stamps and I don't want to save money for my mother and help support the family. So I contacted her. I said, hey, listen, you got to get your money back from these people. They're crooks. You can look up all the reviews about this place. It's a fascinating place. But I have a little story behind the scenes about Explore Talent. I once was hired in Las Vegas to trace down some, I forget if it was threatening emails or if it was some type of online scam or something. Maybe it was defamation. I forget exactly what it was. But I traced the email back to an address in Las Vegas, right across the street from Sunset Park, right across the street from Wayne Newton's house. And Mike Tyson used to live in that area too. And it was this business park across the street from Sunset Park. And in there was this cyber business, okay? Like a telemarketing business with telemarketers, but they weren't on computers, right? So I found out, doing some research into this company, I saw that they had want ads every week. You could go there and get a job, right? So I went down there to apply for a job, right? And it's all filthy, what a joint this place was. Rows and rows of cubicles with computers, with the beat-up chairs and stuff, filthy, And what the job was, you had to work on commission. And what you had to do was you would go into chat rooms and message boards and on Facebook and stuff like that and contact people, right, using the picture of a pretty girl, okay? And you would tell them, hey, I want you to join my cam site, and I'm going to do a sex cam with you, right? And then the minute they signed up, you just hung up on them and went on to the next person. So everybody was working at different computers every day. So I couldn't figure out who was it that had my client, who was actually sending the emails from that location. I couldn't find out who it was. I found the location. It was good enough. So the best I could do. Okay? We couldn't narrow it down to a certain machine, to a certain desk, to a certain person. Plus, the turnover in that joint was just over and over. I only worked there for like a week. But guess what? They were having so many complaints about credit cards being charged. They had so many credit card chargebacks that the company went out of business. And this Explore Talent sprung up in that exact same office. Okay? That now, I guess the people that were before were pretending to be cam girls were now pretending to be, talent agents and talent scouts. Oh, God. So that's my little story about ExploreTalent.com that I promised to tell when I heard that Lauren Boebert was involved in Explore Talent. I mentioned before that that I don't like Fridays, right? And I mentioned that I did that podcast with that guy. And even during the podcast, but especially afterwards, I stayed on the phone with him, which I really don't like to do. After I'm finished done with an interview, I just like to get going, just move on. A couple of people I'll chat with, like Pierce Redmond, So the interview was over, and he was saying, oh, boy, Ed, you've had such a fascinating life. You've had such an interesting life. Even that stuff going back to the Yippies, you've met so many people, you know so many people. And that's true. It's true. I have met a lot of people, and I do know a lot of people even today, and I get a lot of phone calls and a lot of emails every day. And even this week, I put together a little, I have a listener who has a business, and I had someone who needed that kind of business, so I put them in touch with each other. And then they're both calling me to thank me, just don't thank me. Just let me get back to work, But when you know so many people, you come into contact with many tragic stories, tragedies in people's life, especially through the kind of work I do. Like last night, there's a woman here in Florida who's getting evicted. And, we're pretty sure she'll be evicted from her place. In about 20 days, they'll have the writ of possession. The sheriff will be there to move her stuff. And she has nowhere to go. She has no money. She has nowhere to go, And this is someone who just, I met them, and they know I'm an intelligent person, kind of savvy about things. So she was contacting me last night for advice. And she just kept saying, but what about this? What about this? And I says, hey, look, in the state of Florida, that's just the way it is. You don't pay the rent, they get an eviction.
When Sandra doesn't talk to a Mattress Firm sleep expert, junk sleep presses the wrong buttons in her brain. And Sandra presses the wrong buttons in the elevator, leading to a dreadful journey for her and the accountants now headed up to floor 42. 7, 8, 9. While Sandra avoids eye contact, let's reflect on how a better mattress would have led to real sleep. If you need real sleep, head to Mattress Firm and unjunk your sleep today.
Streaming only on Peacock.
John Wayne Gacy is suspected of having killed as many as 32.
Straight from the killer's mouth.
They want you to believe that I alone committed these murders.
The new gripping 6-part documentary series that investigates the crimes that shocked the nation.
The thing everybody thought they knew wasn't the whole story.
John Wayne Gacy, Devil in Disguise. All episodes streaming now.
Devil in disguise.
Only on Peacock. Peacock fuels your true crime obsession with exclusive new originals. John Wayne Gacy, Devil in Disguise.
Clowns can get away with murder.
And Epstein's shadow, Ghislaine Maxwell.
She inherited Jeffrey Epstein's secrets.
Plus the most bingeable crime series, Snapped. Sign up now at peacocktv.com.
And they can even go after you for legal fees, too. So you should get out of there before they have an eviction, because it's going to be tough to get an apartment here in Florida with an eviction on your record. So I tell you all this because, I do meet a lot of people. And when you meet a lot of people, you come in contact with a lot of tragedy. And earlier this week, I just popped onto Facebook. And for some reason, an old chat that I had with this friend of mine back in Las Vegas, I just opened up, And I said, oh, well, she must be contacting me. Or maybe she liked, and it looked at the bottom that she had liked my last comment to her, which I was telling her about a possible lawsuit I had against the Hugh Hefner estate and Playboy Mansion. So I was trying to figure out, why did this window pop up? She didn't say anything. Did she like the last comment? I said, let me go to her page. And I go to her page. She's a beautiful woman, so I don't mind looking at her page. I go to her page, and I see all these people. It had turned into a memorial page, one of those tribute pages. And everyone's making all these comments. They can't believe it. They can't believe it that our Mandy had died, that Mandy was gone, And it's interesting because, when I lived in Vegas, we always liked each other. But I always thought she was too young for me. I thought she was 25 or something like that. And then I didn't find out until I moved here to Florida that she was actually 35. And we were talking about when I was supposed to get that first condo down in Sarasota, that she would come and stay in the other room. I have 2 rooms. And that, never proceeded. And she always had problems with her love life, with guys breaking her heart. And so it turned out that I guess it was the manner of death was some kind of suicide. Took her own life. Young, beautiful woman, brokenhearted. And again, in fact, in her last message we were talking, she said that she was drinking applesauce out of a straw because the guy she was with had broken her, injured her face badly. So, I just wanted to get that out to you. You may think it's romantic or glamorous, to have the life of Ed Opperman, okay, but it's really not. Because, I've known so many people with so many tragedies and so many tragic lives and tragic endings. It's not all as fun as interesting as it's cracked up to be, I'll tell you that. Okay. So let's see. Speaking of death and people I've come into contact with are now dead, we had a guest on our show about 7 years ago. Robert David Steele, who's an ex-CIA officer, And I guess it was William Ramsey who booked him on the show. And it was when I was doing a live show Thursday mornings. This is way at the beginning. And so I contacted him to do the show, and he started yelling at me, telling me that I'm late. And he's just about to leave. And I says, well, no. I says, because I told you I'd be available at 10 a.m. And I says, no, well, you couldn't have been available at 10 a.m. because the live show starts at 11. I says, look, can you do me a favor, man? I got to do this show. Otherwise, it was like the second week or third week in a row that a guest flaked on me, so I was going to have a problem. So he agrees to do the show begrudgingly. You know, he has an attitude with me. This guy thinks he's so smart. And it's funny, too. Now, it turns out he wants to talk about false flags. He's an expert on false flags. And if you look at the description, I just replayed the show this week, and if you look at the description, he predicts that the next false flag will be a pandemic, and that we'll be required to get vaccines, and the vaccines will weaken us. So anyway, you're never going to guess what the guy died of, right? He died of COVID-19. And now they're trying to say maybe it was a heart attack or something else. They murdered him to quiet him, to silence him. But the official story out there is that he caught COVID. And he said he was diagnosed with it. He must have went to a doctor he trusted, right, and knew. And so the guy who was the first guy to call out COVID as a hoax, and refused to wear a mask, and just did this nationwide rally with, he was doing it with some Sheriff Mack, one of his characters. He's right-wing nuts. So anyways, he passed on this week. Okay, now I'll tell you, Robert David Steele holds another place in my heart, because as we're talking, he was mentioning Agenda 21. And after the show, I says, you know what? I keep hearing about this Agenda 21. Is it even really a real thing? Is it is it really a UN document that talks about, contrails and, depopulation? And is this real? I said, let me find it. Because everyone's always saying, read Agenda 21, you'll find it. It's in Agenda 21, it's right there. Okay, and I said, what page? He said, I don't know. I've read it so long ago, I've forgotten. It's always the response I get. Oh, I've read it, but I forgot. I says, well, okay, they have one of those search terms, in the Agenda 21, you can pull it up in a PDF and search it by words like contrails or depopulation. It won't come up the page with all this scary stuff, but it never comes up. So he's the one that mentioned Agenda 21 that made me say, hey, let me go check this out and see if it's real. I found it, and like an idiot, I read it. Okay, like 99% of the people who say it, in fact, 100% of the people who say they read Agenda 21 have never read it themselves. They've seen a video on it, they've heard Glenn Beck talk about it, but they've never actually bothered to read it. So before you send me emails, tell me I'm a sellout, I'm a spy, and all this kind of stuff like that, go read Agenda 21. Hey, let's see here. Okay. The name of the show tonight is I Don't Like Fridays, all right? And I do like Fridays, and I like doing the show on Fridays. I enjoy it very much, especially now that, Vic's back in D.C. and I'm here alone. It's nice to have that personal, intimate contact with the audience, like when I'm not doing an interview. By the way, they've got a great new internship up in D.C., man, and we just found out that it's a paid internship, $15.20 an hour, and we just found, maybe I shouldn't be saying this because people know us. People know us, but it's not just a paid internship hourly. There's a stipend, too, an expense account that she's going to have. So this kid's moving up, man. I'm so proud of her. She posted all these pics this week about visiting the monuments in D.C. and stuff. And she's complaining about the maintenance company that does the maintenance in the dorm there, She's fighting with them because they're not fixing things correctly. So she's just become such an impressive, independent young woman. But what was I talking about? I don't like Mondays, right? And that's the story of that girl. I think her name is Brenda Spencer. And the song by the Boomtown Rats, I Don't Like Monday. Now, Brenda Spencer was the first school shooter, okay, in San Diego. She lived across the street with her dad in a one-bedroom little house right across the street from this school. I think it was an elementary school. And she watched, her father had bought her a rifle for Christmas, right? Somehow her father had wound up with sole custody because the mother said she couldn't afford to fight for custody. And the mother said she had depression, and the father bought her this rifle for Christmas. She hadn't even asked for a rifle, but he bought her a rifle anyway. I did a show about this with Nathan Stoppelman long time ago. When I first started the member section, we did a show about this. And he had some exclusive information. He says, Ed, the father and the daughter were sleeping in the same room. And there was a mattress on the floor. We think they were sleeping on the same mattress at the same time. But that's all the information we knew at the time. And that was exclusively first revealed on my show. Okay? Now, turns out now, all these years later, there's a parole hearing. Okay? She had the chance of getting out on parole. And at her parole hearing for the first time ever, she revealed that her father had molested her and had performed sodomy on her and groping and all kinds of things, and that they did sleep in the same bed together, okay? And it was also revealed, it also came out, get this, when she was a teenager at the youth detention center, she had a roommate, right? And the roommate was released before, early on, right? The roommate was younger than her. When the roommate got out, the roommate went to live with her father. The father marries the roommate, and they have a kid together, and then the roommate leaves. Okay, never to raise the kid again. So the father's now living in that same house with another little kid about the same age as she was, about 16 years old by now. So that's some exclusive information you only hear in here. I don't think it's out anywhere otherwise than a good old Opperman report where we tell you everything. Keep nothing back from you. Okay. Let's see what else. I got a whole thing I want to talk to you about Afghanistan and Glenn Beck raising money and Hannity and Ollie North just blatantly doing a Mutt and Jeff show the other day and just getting busted in their stupidity in their lies. And the dancing boys, the Afghanistan dancing boys, okay? And we're going to get into that when I get back after these messages. And now a word from our sponsors. The Opperman Report is brought to you by Aquadam.net. You can give them a call at 707-764-2119. A flooded home is never easy to deal with. You're left with the mess to clean up, the insurance companies to deal with, and not to mention all the memories, the precious memories that are lost in the flood. You can never replace those. And Aquadam can be a tool in your arsenal to protect your home and property from the floodwaters. The cofferdam is filled with water to control water and is reusable as long as it's taken care of. It can protect your home or business from rising floodwaters like a dam, but without the beavers. It can also be used in construction. If you need an area to be dewatered, an Aquadam can do the job. An Aquadam was used at SeaWorld in Orlando for the Mako roller coaster ride during the coaster's construction by dewatering the work area. An Aquadam is now dewatering the work area at San Antonio SeaWorld for their newest roller coaster ride. An Aquadam has been used in many construction projects all around the U.S. and all around the world. Now give Aquadam a call, 707-764-2119. You can look them up online at aquadam.net. You can find them on Facebook at Aquadam Inc. You call them up, you email them, you tell them Ed Opperman sent you, and they're going to take 10% off the price. Aquadam.net, 707-764-2119. If you find yourself in need of legal representation, it can be a very stressful time in your life. In my career, I have dealt with thousands of lawyers, I've dealt with thousands of law firms, and I can confidently recommend to you Keith M. Davidson at kmdlaw.com. Available 24 hours, 7 days a week. Just log into kmdlaw.com. That's kmdlaw.com. Or you can call toll-free 833-4KMD-LAW. That's 833-4KMD-LAW. Personal injury, wrongful death, STDs, sexual assault, car accidents. They handle it all efficiently and professionally. It doesn't matter how imposing the opposition may be, because the team at kmdlaw.com are battle-tested and fierce. They will not stop until justice prevails. Go to kmdlaw.com or call toll-free 833-4KMD-LAW. If you're in for the fight of your life, stop screwing around and contact KMD Law.
Before Epstein was the Franklin cover-up. Before that, the Finders. And long before that, the Cleveland street scandal. Pedogate Primer is a concise intro and overview of a growing child abuse epidemic worldwide. It features shocking instances of institutionalized and organizational pedophilia throughout history. Churches, cults, the world of arts and entertainment, the government, NGOs, charities, and major corporations are all complicit or culprits in many instances. Pedogate Primer delves into material that for many may seem like the stuff of conspiracy theories. For this reason, the book draws on academic resources, declassified documents, and other...
This Labor Day, put an end to junk sleep. Right now at Mattress Firm, save up to $500 on our top-rated brands when you get a king bed for the price of a queen or a queen for a twin. Plus, get a free adjustable base when you spend $6.99 on Sealy. Or save up to 50% on hot buys from top brands like Sleepy's or Serta. With our highly trained sleep experts and our low-price guarantee, you can rest assured you'll get the best bed at the best price. Unjunk your sleep. Only at Mattress Firm. Offer valid with qualifying purchase. Restrictions apply. Valid at participating locations only. For offer details, visit mattressfirm.com/sale.
Streaming only on Peacock.
John Wayne Gacy killed 32.
Straight from the killer's mouth.
They want you to believe that I alone committed these murders.
The new gripping 6-part documentary series, John Wayne Gacy, Devil in Disguise. All episodes streaming now, only on Peacock. Streaming only on Peacock.
She was this moneyed, social girl.
Ghislaine Maxwell had it all until she met Jeffrey Epstein.
Maxwell helped connect him to the wealthy and famous.
Then it all came crashing down.
Ghislaine Maxwell's charged with enticement of minors, sex trafficking of children, and perjury.
Now a new 3-part documentary reveals her story.
How on earth could she have got to this place?
Epstein's Shadow, Ghislaine Maxwell. Streaming now, only on Peacock.
Reliable sources and steers clear of conjecture. Such shocking true stories need no embellishment.
It's the Opperman Report. And now, here is investigator Ed Opperman.
Okay, welcome back to the Opperman Report. I'm your host, private investigator Ed Opperman. You can find me on Twitter and Instagram and Tinder at Opperman Report. Okay, at Opperman Report, OPPERMAN, and then report. I got a nice little following on I just only started building up my Twitter like in the last 9 months, after I went on TrueAnon. And I got 6,500 followers now, so it's going very well. So let's see. How did I get on this bug about Afghanistan this week? I think what started it off, okay, was when the whole craziness going down at the Kabul airport. I think we've settled on Kabul now, right? All right. But when all that's craziness started at that airport, Glenn Beck, the radio show host, who, by the way, I believe he's also the one that invented the Agenda 21 hoax, goes on his show and says, I am going to go rescue those people. Right? Glenn Beck, the radio show. The guy's, by the way, the guy's kind of a basket case. If you ever see him in person, he wears like 3 sweaters on top of each other. Starts crying, gets all, So I'm going to save them. I want to raise money. Send me your money. And we want to raise $20 million. And Glenn Beck is going to single-handedly go down and rescue all these people. Right. Now I'm thinking, how? This is like a war zone. It's like sealed off. There's soldiers around the damn airport, The people, in order to get them on planes, they got to be vetted out, right? Why does Glenn Beck need $20 million to get aid in this? So it seems that somehow he did get 5,000 people out of Kabul airport. I don't know how. Did he charter? Did the State Department still vet these people? Did they really need planes? Like the U.S. Army and Air Force doesn't have enough planes to rescue people? It just makes no sense. But somehow Glenn Beck raises $20 million. I tried. Years back, I was, after my divorce, my custody fight, I was broke. I was broke all the time. And people would give me hell, just saying, "Hey man, I just need money to stay on the air." It's just I got a credit card bill here, I can't pay. Can you send it in? Oh, it does beg for money. And here's Glenn Beck. I want $20 million. I'm going to go rescue some Afghanis. Okay. So I'm watching that, right? Glenn Beck, and it just stuck in the back of my mind. And then I see one of the press conferences the other day, and they're asking one of the Army guys, military spokespeople, they says, "Hey, now when there was that suicide attack, right? There was the first bomb went off, and then there was a secondary explosion. Do you know the cause of that secondary explosion?" And what it seems to be, what the reporter's questioning, was that after the bomb went off, the Marines died, and it went a little haywire, just shooting up the whole joint, and they shot up a truck and hit the gas tank, and the truck blew up, or maybe some other truck blew up. I mean, maybe it had some kind of propane, who knows what, but it was the explosion of that truck that had killed all the people, and there was probably some friendly fire too. So, that stuck in the back of my head. I says, I want to follow up on that. So I contacted a couple of people who I know from the old days, who did work as civilian contractors in Afghanistan and in Iraq. And I contacted them. I says, "Hey, man, what do you hear? What do you hear about this story about the truck getting blown up?" Right? And he goes, "Yeah, and we're hearing that too. That's the rumor going around today too, but we don't know for sure. But Ed, I got something else I want to tell you about." He goes, "You know that they're letting out the dancing boys?" I said, "What are you talking about?" He says, "Yeah." He says, "There's all kind of corruption going on over there with the paperwork to get to get into the airbase. You have to pay people off in order to get onto that airport. And some of the people that they are letting in, okay, for free, are the young boys, okay, that were forced into prostitution. They're called the Afghan dancing boys." And let me pull some of this up. I got a bunch of notes. And he says they're being given preferential treatment, okay, whether they worked for the U.S. as translators or not. So you hear these stories about people, who had money to buy their way into that airport and get out. This is what we're hearing. Now, what a lot of people don't realize, and they say, well, how did the Afghan army and the Afghan police fall so quickly? Well, one reason why that the Taliban came to power the first time in the first civil war, okay, this is before 9/11. Why did the Taliban come to power? They're such horrible people, and they're oppressive to women. And you got to wear burqas in the 18th century, running around with swords, all this kind of crazy stuff. Why? The reason why, okay, one of the main reasons why the Taliban came to power in the first place was the bacha-bazi, okay, which is a custom created in Afghanistan involving child sexual abuse between older men and young adolescent males or boys, who are called dancing boys, okay? Now, this has gone on over there in Afghanistan for hundreds of years. It's gone on over there in Pakistan for hundreds of years. And the people, so when the Taliban came to power, they says, we're going to outlaw this practice of bacha-bazi, the dancing boys, and the death penalty for anyone who commits these crimes. Now, even under the Taliban, there were some commanders and militiamen and police commanders who continued the practice, okay, because they were so powerful. And they take the most weak and vulnerable amongst us, the poorest, and they take those kids from their home. Stories of kids being chained to a bed for 2 weeks and being raped. So, it's just a horrific situation. So when the U.S. went in there and defeated the Taliban, the strict prohibition on the dancing boys of this practice was loosened up, okay? And even Bechtel and Dynacorp were caught in WikiLeaks emails paying for these dancing boys to give as gifts to contractors and to important, militia people, right? Now, one of these, there's some crazy stories here. There's a film about it called The Dancing Boys of Afghanistan. You can watch that, right? And in one case, they interviewed one of the commanders, right? And he says, okay, when the Marines suggested that the barracks be searched for children and that any policeman found to be engaged in pedophilia be arrested and jailed, the high-ranking officer insists what occurs between the security forces and the boys is consensual, and saying the boys like being there and giving their asses at night. And he went on to claim that the practice was historic and necessary, rhetorically asking, if my commanders can't F the asses of these boys, what should they F? The peas of their own grandmothers? These are the people that the U.S. was arming in there, okay? And these are the people that the United States was supporting. These are the people that we were training, okay? And we said before, Dynacorp knew about it, and some of these other contractors knew about deals. And fascinating enough, there's a famous movie called The Kite Runner, okay, and it's about these dancing boys. But they switched it around. They made it the exact opposite. They made that it was a Taliban leader who was molesting these boys. Not that the Taliban had outlawed this and were executing people engaged in this practice. They totally turned it around. And there's a bunch of stories. There was a story here about how one of these dancing boys, he poisoned 8 commanders, and we hear these stories here. We say, oh, boy, we're training these people, and they turn out they're crazy. The kid was being molested. Oh, get this. Right. In 2011, an Afghan mother in the Kunduz province reported that her 12-year-old son had been chained to a bed and raped for 2 weeks by Afghan local police. These are the people we armed. These are the people. That's why it was so easy for the Taliban to take over, because these local police were hated by the people in their communities. They were raping everybody's kids. Okay, the people we armed were raping the kids over there. You get it now? And by the way, none of this is secret or unknown, okay? My 2 sources on this were both guys who had contracts down there, worked there. They made a lot of money down there, okay? Doing training and all kind of stuff, okay? And some of it was just show up, and get paid. They didn't really do any training at all, okay? And they told me all this stuff. This is what's going on down there. Now, when confronted, right, the commander, by Afghan local police commander named Abdul Rahman, was raping his 12-year-old boy for 2 weeks. When confronted, Rahman laughed and confessed. Then he was subsequently severely beaten by U.S. Special Forces soldiers and thrown off the base. Okay, so the only real was like vigilantes. Vigilante guys said, you're not going to do this. We're not going to let you do this. But as far as the U.S. government policy, we're arming these people. We're funding these people. It's just insane. It's just insane. So then, I hear this whole thing about the dancing boys and stuff. And by the way, I was supposed to have a guest on the show one time, a lawyer who had a lawsuit with one of our soldiers over this whole thing with and he never showed up. It was a Thursday night show. It was a Friday night show. And he never showed up, never got back to me after that, so who knows what happened. So first I'm worried about Glenn Beck. Okay, now somehow he's a hostage rescuer. Then I hear this whole thing about the dancing boys and this filth going on over there. And now I'm listening to the radio. I'm listening to Sean Hannity. I think it was yesterday. and he has Oliver North on his show. Okay, remember Oliver North, right? Iran-Contra. How these right-wing nuts think Oliver North is a good guy. I just because he stood up and saluted the flag when he was had to give his oath before Congress, he stood up real straight and and saluted. Oh, we love him now. Yeah, that's it. Because if you look at the guy's career, he's really done nothing but fail. So Oliver North is on Hannity. And Oliver North starts telling Hannity, I've got sources down there on the ground, okay? And what we are hearing and what we're seeing is that the Taliban is going door to door and they're murdering people.
This Labor Day, put an end to junk sleep. Right now at Mattress Firm, save up to $500 on our top-rated brands when you get a king bed for the price of a queen or a queen for a twin. Plus, get a free adjustable base when you spend $6.99 on Sealy. Or save up to 50% on hot buys from top brands like Sleepy's or Serta. With our highly trained sleep experts and our low-price guarantee, you can rest assured you'll get the best bed at the best price. Unjunk your sleep, only at Mattress Firm. Offer valid with qualifying purchase. Restrictions apply. Valid at participating locations only. For offer details, visit mattressfirm.com/sale.
Streaming only on Peacock.
John Wayne Gacy killed 32.
Straight from the killer's mouth.
They want you to believe that I alone committed these murders.
The new gripping 6-part documentary series, John Wayne Gacy, Devil in Disguise. All episodes streaming now, only on Peacock. Peacock is streaming your favorite shows, movies, live sports, breaking news, exclusive originals, and every live WWE pay-per-view. It's The Office, Chris Lee Knows Best, and Peacock original shows like Punky Brewster. Peacock, watch for free, upgrade for more. Stream now at peacocktv.com.
And torturing people. And he says, I have video of it. They have their cell phones down there, so I have video of this. So Hannity says, can you send me the video? Can you send me the video so I can report on it? First of all, I think he was thinking he's going to put it on TV, on his Hannity TV show. He goes, can you send me the video there, hero Oliver North? And North says, you don't want to see this, buddy. You don't want to see this. I have to see it because I'm a former soldier. You know what I mean? I have to see it. And they're going back and forth. No, I want to see it. I won't play it. I just want to report on it. I want to see it and then report to the people on it. So then Oliver North is kind of alluding to that he has some kind of secret operation going on over there where he's rescuing people out of his own dime or whatever. I guess he's going to start raising money too in a couple of days. So he's claiming he's still there and that he still has guys there rescuing people. So then he agrees, I guess, off the air during a commercial to send Hannity the video, and Hannity watches it in 30 seconds and says, oh, I've seen it now. It's horrible. I'm not going to show it to you, though. You're not qualified to see it. Well, at one point, North says, I can't send it to you. This is top secret stuff we're doing. It'll compromise the mission. That's it. These two clowns are just such con artists, man. It's not even funny. It's just not even funny. Me and Vic went to this church a few times, back in Las Vegas. And at the time, Ollie North was coming to town. He was doing an anti-abortion speech for an anti-abortion group. I think it was cost a lot of money to get in there, but I could have got in with my press credentials, right? So, and I was going to go there and get my picture taken with Oliver North. Just, as a joke, And so we didn't go for whatever reason. I forgot, maybe I forgot about it or whatever. And we're sitting in church. And the pastor of this church starts talking about how he went to see Oliver North at this thing. And Oliver North told this story. And this is what the story is. It's so far-fetched and so ridiculous. Ollie North says that there was a firefight going on, either Afghanistan or Iraq, if you guess which one. And the press was there watching the firefight go on, watching the shootout. And one of our enemies, Taliban or whatever, Al-Qaeda, was shot. And an American soldier ran out into the middle of the firefight, picked up the Al-Qaeda, and started dragging him back to safety. And all the press started yelling, no, that's the other guy. That's the enemy. What are you doing? That's not one of our men. Why are you saving him? I can't just imagine. It's so freaking far-fetched. And then the soldier turns to him and says, as their medevacs are taking care of him and they're flying him off in a helicopter to rescue his life, to save his life, turns to the press and he goes, "We're Americans, and that's what we do. We're here to save these people, not to kill them." First of all, the press is watching a firefight, can yell at a soldier. The soldier's going to stop and talk to the press. The whole thing is just ridiculous. Oh God. I had this situation recently in my personal life where I'm sitting at dinner with this clown. Okay. One of the most pathetic person I've met in years. Okay, he's got no driver's license, got a DUI, got a hit and run. I've looked at his rap sheet, petty criminal, okay, loser in every possible way. And I'm telling some of my stories about, I was out in the desert one time. We pulled a gun on these two cops. Another time, this cop showed up at my apartment. And I'm telling all these stories, that are real stories. And he comes up with this far-fetched story that he thinks makes himself look good. He tells the story that he was having an incident with his girlfriend. They were fighting, okay? And his girlfriend called the police on him. And he told her, "Go ahead, call the police. I've done nothing wrong." And then when the police came, the police were being rude to him at the doorway. And he told the cop, he goes, "Listen, you take off your badge, you take off your gun, and let's fight right here in this doorway. And we'll settle it that way." Like an adolescent wouldn't make up this story and think someone's going to believe it. But this guy's telling me this freaking story. He's out of his mind on dope, And the cop says, "Okay, let's do it. I'm taking off my badge. I'm taking off my gun. Let's fight." So we have the fight. And I beat up the cop in my doorway, right? And then I tell the cop my side of the story. And the cop apologizes to me, shakes my hand, and walks away. Oh, my God. And this guy thinks I'm stupid enough to believe that. Oh, boy. Hey, I want to give a shout out to Donnie Mays, who's my credit repair guy, and has just done wonders for me. Let me see if I can find his phone number real quick. The name of the company is Dynamic Solutions 2. Oh, it should be right here. But how do I find that without calling them? Contacts. That's what I'll do. I got this stupid phone here. Oop, that's the wrong one. There you go. 213-618-6424. 213-618-6424. Donnie Mays Credit Repair. The name of the company is Dynamic Solutions 2. And let me tell you something. This guy really does know his stuff. He really does know his stuff. I also have a great mortgage broker that I want to start to promote on here. I told him, I said, I'll promote you on the air, and you give me a cut when you make a deal. I don't think he understood what I wanted to do. So we have that going on there. So Donnie Mays. And don't forget Aquadam. This storm season is insane. If you see the flooding going on in New Jersey and New York right now in D.C., it's just crazy. And it's been raining down here in Florida, man, day after day after day. I feel like Noah's Ark, But you don't need Noah's Ark. You can get an Aquadam. You can get an Aquadam small enough for your house or your business or your church. Or you can get one big enough to protect your whole neighborhood, okay, from flooding. If so many of these flooding things you see in New York and these pictures you see in New Jersey could have prevented if they had been proactive and talked to the people at aquadam.net. Damn it. So anyway, they're really good people over at aquadam.net, the big supporters of the show. Always have been in times when I was in trouble and stuff like that.
Streaming only on Peacock. Ghislaine Maxwell had it all until she met Jeffrey Epstein.
Ghislaine Maxwell's charged with enticement of minors, sex trafficking of children, and perjury.
Epstein's Shadow, Ghislaine Maxwell. Streaming now, only on Peacock. Streaming only on Peacock. Ghislaine Maxwell had it all until she met Jeffrey Epstein.
Ghislaine Maxwell's charged with enticement of minors, sex trafficking of children, and perjury.
Epstein's Shadow, Ghislaine Maxwell. Streaming now, only on Peacock. Peacock fuels your true crime obsession with exclusive new originals like John Wayne Gacy, Devil in Disguise.
He said to me, clowns can get away with murder.
Dr. Death, the undoctored story.
This guy's dangerous.
And Epstein's shadow, Ghislaine Maxwell.
She inherited Jeffrey Epstein's secrets.
There was this whole other world going on.
Plus the most bingeable crime series, Buried in the Backyard and Snapped. And with the Dateline 24/7 channel that's always on.
Did you want her dead?
You can't not obsess. Sign up now at peacocktv.com.
And they're very good people. So give another shout out to aquadam.net. Let's see, what else, man? This is pretty much the end of my notes. All I could think about. I don't know. Every time I think about the suicide, you know. Also, too, that the young woman who committed suicide, her brother had also died from suicide. So you can imagine that poor mother. You know, both your kids kill themselves, you know. It would kill me. You know, God forbid that ever happened in my life. You know, if you have someone in your life and you think you're seeing depression in their life, and really make an effort to reach out to them, because if you don't, you know, it could be the last time you get to see them. Oops, guess what? I'm not broadcasting right now. That's weird. That's the other one. How do I get out of that? Okay, I'm going to try and... My computer's acting all crazy right now. I know what to do. I'll probably be right back. Okay, wait here. Okay, I got to unplug one of the monitors here. And then I should get back to be able to do what I got to do. Let's see. Or I might still be off the air. Oh, nope, I'm still in the air. There we go. Yeah, I know. I know you can hear me. But what happened was I couldn't see the screen here that has my my player on here. All right, guys, thank you so much for putting up with me another Friday night. I don't hate Fridays. I love Fridays. I really do. I get to see my friends. So, love you very much. Thank you so much for supporting the show. Check out our Patreon this week. And play the commercial and we'll be out of here. Get some sleep. And now a word from our sponsors.
Before Epstein was the Franklin cover-up. Before that, the Finders. And long before that, the Cleveland street scandal. Pedogate Primer is a concise intro and overview of a growing child abuse epidemic worldwide. It features shocking instances of institutionalized and organizational pedophilia throughout history. Churches, cults, the world of arts and entertainment, the government, NGOs, charities, and major corporations are all complicit or culprits in many instances. Pedogate Primer delves into material that for many may seem like the stuff of conspiracy theories. For this reason, the book draws on academic resources, declassified documents, and other reliable sources, and steers clear of conjecture. Such shocking, true stories need no embellishment.
If you find yourself in need of legal representation, it can be a very stressful time in your life. In my career, I have dealt with thousands of lawyers, I've dealt with thousands of law firms, and I can confidently recommend to you Keith M. Davidson at kmdlaw.com. Available 24 hours, 7 days a week. Just log into kmdlaw.com. That's kmdlaw.com. Or you can call toll-free 833-4KMD-LAW. That's 833-4KMD-LAW. Personal injury, wrongful death, STDs, sexual assault, car accidents. They handle it all efficiently and professionally. It doesn't matter how imposing the opposition may be, because the team at KMDLaw.com are battle-tested and fierce. They will not stop until justice prevails. Go to KMDLaw.com or call toll-free 833-4KMD-LAW. If you're in for the fight of your life, stop screwing around and contact KMD Law. The Opperman Report is brought to you by aquadam.net. You can give them a call at 707-764-2119. A flooded home is never easy to deal with. You're left with the mess to clean up, the insurance companies to deal with, and not to mention all the memories, the precious memories that are lost in the flood. You can never replace those. An AquaDam can be a tool in your arsenal to protect your home and property from the floodwaters. The cofferdam is filled with water to control water and is reusable as long as it's taken care of. It can protect your home or business from rising floodwaters like a dam, but without the beavers. It can also be used in construction. If you need an area to be dewatered, an AquaDam can do the job. An AquaDam was used at SeaWorld in Orlando for the Mako roller coaster ride during the coaster's construction by dewatering the work area. An AquaDam is now dewatering the work area at San Antonio SeaWorld for their newest roller coaster ride. An AquaDam has been used in many construction projects all around the U.S. and all around the world. Now give AquaDam a call, 707-764-2119. You can look them up online at aquadam.net. You can find them on Facebook at Aquadam Inc. You call them up, you email them, you tell them Ed Opperman sent you, and they're going to take 10% off the price. Aquadam.net, 707-764-2119.
This Labor Day, put an end to junk sleep. Right now at Mattress Firm, save up to $500 on our top-rated brands when you get a king bed for the price of a queen or a queen for a twin. Plus, get a free adjustable base when you spend $6.99 on Sealy. Or save up to 50% on hot buys from top brands like Sleepy's or Serta. With our highly trained sleep experts and our low price guarantee, you can rest assured you'll get the best bed at the best price. Unjunk your sleep, only at Mattress Firm. Offer valid with qualifying purchase. Restrictions apply. Valid at participating locations only. For offer details, visit mattressfirm.com/sale. This Labor Day, put an end to junk sleep. Right now at Mattress Firm, save up to $500 on our top-rated brands when you get a king bed for the price of a queen or a queen for a twin. Plus, get a free adjustable base when you spend $6.99 on Sealy. Or save up to 50% on hot buys from top brands like Sleepy's or Serta. With our highly trained sleep experts and our low price guarantee, you can rest assured you'll get the best bed at the best price. Unjunk your sleep, only at Mattress Firm. Offer valid with qualifying purchase. Restrictions apply. Valid at participating locations only. For offer details, visit mattressfirm.com/sale.
Welcome to the Crossroads Podcast, a new project by Giorgio Armani. My name is Charlie Teasdale, and I'm the style director at Esquire in London, and I will be your host. In this new podcast, we will interview 13 incredible women in 13 different countries, asking them to share their stories of success and of overcoming difficulty. Stories about the choices they have made in order to become the women they are. The Crossroads Podcast will be available on Apple, Spotify, or wherever you get your podcasts.
Is it time for a new heating and cooling system? Turn to the experts at Griffith Energy Services and Carrier today and get 0% financing for 18 months on a new heating and cooling system. Get the comfort you deserve from Griffith Energy Services and Carrier. Visit griffitenergyservices.com today for this and other exclusive offers. That's griffitenergyservices.com. License number MDHVACR 01-2278.
Griffith Energy Services. Doggone dependable.
Streaming only on Peacock.
John Wayne Gacy is suspected of having killed as many as 32.
Straight from the killer's mouth.
They want you to believe that I alone committed these murders.
The new gripping 6-part documentary series that investigates the crimes that shocked the nation.
The thing everybody thought they knew wasn't the whole story.
John Wayne Gacy, Devil in Disguise. All episodes streaming now.
Devil in disguise.
Only on Peacock. Streaming only on Peacock.
John Wayne Gacy killed 32.
Straight from the killer's mouth.
They want you to believe that I alone committed these murders.
The new gripping 6-part documentary series, John Wayne Gacy, Devil in Disguise. All episodes streaming now, only on Peacock. Peacock fuels your true crime obsession with exclusive new originals like John Wayne Gacy, Devil in Disguise.
He said to me, clowns can get away with murder.
Dr. Death, the undoctored story.
This guy's dangerous.
And Epstein's shadow, Ghislaine Maxwell.
She inherited Jeffrey Epstein's secrets.
There was this whole other world going on.
Plus the most bingeable crime series, Buried in the Backyard and Snapped. And with the Dateline 24/7 channel that's always on.
Did you want her dead?
You can't not obsess. Sign up now at peacocktv.com.
Welcome to the Crossroads Podcast, a new project by Giorgio Armani. My name is Charlie Teasdale, and I'm the style director at Esquire in London, and I will be your host. In this new podcast, we will interview 13 incredible women in 13 different countries, asking them to share their stories. Stories of success and of overcoming difficulty. Stories about the choices they have made in order to become the women they are. The Crossroads podcast will be available on Apple, Spotify, or wherever you get your podcasts.
This Labor Day, put an end to junk sleep. Right now at Mattress Firm, save up to $500 on our top-rated brands when you get a king bed for the price of a queen or a queen for a twin. Plus, get a free adjustable base when you spend $6.99 on Sealy. Or save up to 50% on hot buys from top brands like Sleepy's or Serta. With our highly trained sleep experts and our low price guarantee, you can rest assured you'll get the best bed at the best price. Unjunk your sleep. Only at Mattress Firm. Offer valid with qualifying purchase. Restrictions apply. Valid at participating locations only. For offer details, visit mattressfirm.com/sale.
Peacock fuels your true crime obsession with exclusive new originals. John Wayne Gacy, Devil in Disguise.
Clowns can get away with murder.
And Epstein's shadow, Ghislaine Maxwell.
She inherited Jeffrey Epstein's secrets.
Plus the most bingeable crime series, Snapped. Sign up now at peacocktv.com.